Buenos dias. I am in Chitre, in the middle of Panama, and I have been trying to find a fonda to have breakfast and show you guys what breakfast looks like here. But most of the fondas are closed, okay? I remember when I traveled in Chitre before, I was told that nothing really happens. People are really into staying home, and that they, the place shuts down like at 7 o'clock at night. Well, it's Sunday. I think if I was here during the week, I would have better chance of finding a place that's open. So this little place I'm at is called Cafe Macchiato, and I Googled it, took a taxi, I'm here. It says it opens at 10, but it says cerrado, it's closed. So we'll see. The good thing is that they have like these little chairs up front, so I'm sitting out here, and nobody has told me I can't. So if they don't open, I don't see any movement inside. And of course, this is Panama. Good morning. This is Panama. So if they say 10 o'clock, who knows? It could be 10:15, could be 10:30. So I can just chat with you guys until if somebody shows up and they open it. But I don't know. Oh, I see a car pulling up. So there is hope. Somebody else is coming. So, but I took some shots while I was driving through in the cab. You see, Chitre is like smack in the middle of the country. I took the bus from Albrook. It cost me, initially, I said I was going to Las Tablas. Las Tablas is about 35 miles from Chitre, further west. So I paid $8.30, I think, with my discount. Now I see some cars coming. People are coming, and so they're supposed to open, but it says cerrado. So I'll follow people and see. Oh yeah, they look like locals. So buenos días. Van a abrir. Ah, okay. Sí, yo sé, creo que sí. Ah, se dice cerrado en la puerta. Ah, some people came also, and it is closed. Uh-oh. Okay. So they got in the same issue. The door is closed. But anyway, I took the bus from Albrook, the main terminal in Panama City. And so I said I was going to Las Tablas. And the reason I was going to oh, I see people in there. Señora, ¿hay alguien adentro? ¿Hay alguien? Van a abrir, creo. Sí. Ah, okay. De nada. Okay, so they opened the door. But I think we're going to stay out. I don't want to be talking while I'm inside the restaurant. Oh, that's pretty good. It's only 10:05, so great job. So, I have my bag and my backpack. I travel light. Okay, hang on. I'm going to sit somewhere else, but I'm afraid it's not going to be too quiet. But I will order breakfast and let you see. Because what I really wanted you to see what a Panamanian breakfast looks like, okay? So let me chat with you first about my trip. I was going to Las Tablas in the center of the country because they have a festival called Mil Pollera Festival, which means 1,000 polleras. And I did a couple of posts about the pollera. The pollera is this beautiful, long, I don't want to say costume, it's a dress. It's got the top, and then it has like something towards, like a flap going towards over the shoulders. And then you have the shirt, and then you have this flowy skirt. The difference is it could be anything. Some of them are like laced, some of them are with cotton, and then they have all kinds of variations of polleras. The pollera originated in Spain. You guys know that Spain colonized Panama like it did most of Latin America. So the culture of Spain is very prevalent here. And the Panamanians are very proud of their heritage and their culture, not just the Spanish, but also the Caribbean and the indigenous. And I think that's one of the reasons that Panama is so, endearing to a lot of us, because of that fusion of all the experiences. So I remember going to a presentation about the pollera at the museum, the Canal Museum. And then the gentleman was explaining all the variations and what they meant, what regions of the country you're going to find it. So for the Pollera Festival, I think there was a document from the Ministry of Culture that I read, and it says that one of the reasons that they have the festival is to make sure they preserve the culture, that we, extranjeros and the locals don't forget their culture, what it means, where it came from. But you also see all the variations of the polleras. They have some of them with lace, beautiful white, and they cost a lot of money. I say that it is the dream of every Panamanian woman to own a pollera, and I wanted to, but you have to know where to get them, got to have your money, and I did not get one in time for the festival. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna buy the fabric and find someone to make me a pollera for next year. The pollera can be one color, the shirt and the skirt, or it could be different. You could have a flowy skirt in different patterns. Usually it's not a plain color, it's just multicolored, the variations. I mean, it was amazing seeing all of them. Even though I saw some of that during the presentation at the museum, they did have different types of polleras come. And of course, it really related to the affluence of the person. If you had a lot of money, you could buy a very intricately laced pollera. But if you were a little bit more humble, then your pollera kind of reflected your social status, I guess. And then we have also the polleras from Colón, from the Caribbean side, which is it's totally different. It's a multi-pattern, multiple colors, and then they wear something. Oh, also the headwear is very important with the pollera to get the outfit. After you get the dress, then you have to adorn yourself with all these gold necklaces and earrings. And then they have the headpieces that are handmade, and they have all kinds of colored beads. So you can have plain white, and then they put one on each side of your head. Some people have big ones that cover the whole side of your head. You got two. And then some of them have like a gold crown or something. Anyway, it can be very intricate, right? But it's like we ooh and ah. And then for the festival, there are some people whose job it is to adorn people with their pollera, to dress them, giving them all the accessories, right? And the cutest thing is to see the babies, the moms. And then, of course, some people go overboard with the makeup and the lipstick with the babies, do their eyes. But the ladies, your face, you're gonna represent that pollera. So your face has to be made up, your hair. Some of the polleras, some people have, that's why I put my hair like this, to two braids. They have two long braids, because if you think of the colonial era, the women probably had, their hair in the middle and then the braids on each side, and then they have the beautiful pieces. So I will be doing my video this coming week, about the Pollera Festival. But anyway, so multiple types of polleras, over 1,000 polleras that I saw yesterday. So I left Panama City on Friday because I wanted to stay with my friend who lives in Chitre, and I'm going to tell you about that because you get to Chitre first. Chitre is in the middle of the state. So I paid 8 something to go to Las Tablas, but the idea in my head was I'm going to pass Chitre, go up to Las Tablas, check out the area, finding out what the route was. I traveled to the country last year and I did go to Las Tablas and Chitre, but I wanted to make sure we were able to know where we were going and then we know the route. Because like when we do carnival or whatever, you need to find a spot, put your chair there, and so you can see the parade or the desfile. But I kind of lost a couple of hours on Friday, and by the time, you hit some traffic, which you always do leaving Panama City, and then the bus, which is one of the large buses, thank God it wasn't a little one, they stopped somewhere at a fonda type restaurant so everybody can have something to eat and also to use the restroom. So if you're traveling through the country in Panama and you take those big buses, some have restrooms on site, but for hygienic purposes, they probably would rather you go use the restroom somewhere else. So between the traffic and the stops, it was like 6 hours by the time we got to Chitre. And then it was like 5:45, and I was like, oh no, because it gets dark in Panama at about 6:30. It doesn't matter where you live, okay? And being a safe traveler, I never want to be somewhere I'm not familiar with after dark, right? So I'm on the bus, and I see the Terminal de Transporte, which is where the bus station is in Chitre. And I was like, Senor, can I get up? Can I get off? Puedo parar. So he let me off. I crossed the street and went to the terminal in Chitre and then took a cab to go to my friend's house. Anyway, so I didn't get to Las Tablas until Saturday, which was the day of the desfile. The desfile, the parade is always free, of course, but you have to go. You go there, people have quartered off areas because, you need to have a good spot. So we left the house at about 10 a.m. The desfile was supposed to start at 1. And I said, I think it will be a good time. And it was. And of course, it didn't start at 1. I knew that. But it was very well attended. This is a parade that attracts local, regional people from the area and also international visitors. I guess I'm a regional person now. And you could see, I didn't see as many foreigners as, excuse me, as I thought I was going to see. But hold on, I got to put my glasses so I can read those comments. But it was very well attended. I did see a few gringos, but not as many as I was expecting. And of course, there was a little girl. Some people get their polleras and participate in the parade. I have to believe that you have to register to be, have a pollera and walk through the parade because it was different groups. But I'm sure if I had my pollera, I could just walk in there. I don't think it's going to be a problem. Anyway, so we saw so many polleras and, of course, a bunch of regional groups because, in Panama, they're so proud of their polleras that if you have an event, let's say a political event, a cultural event, you're always going to see pollera dancing with the girls and then the boys. Oh, we didn't talk about the men. The men wear also their beautiful white shirt. Some of them are laces. I think they call them guayabas, guayab, something like that, right? And I saw a variation of a blue one with pleats and some flowers. I didn't care for that. I'm like, it doesn't look manly enough. So stick to the white. But the men are also very into the Pollera Festival. And in fact, the cutest thing is you see the family coming, the mom in her pollera, her head and everything, the dad with his shirt, and the men have to wear the traditional sandals, which I had a pair last year, but when I was going to South Africa, I gave it away. I'm going to get another one. It's like, it's with leather. It's usually brown leather with the toes out. So that's typical for the men to wear. And if they have like a little boy, they would dress him like that. Had a little girl had little polleras. Oh, adorable, adorable. And of course, with any carnival, not carnival, any parades here in Panama, comida, food, food, food. Um, and if you go to any outdoor event in Panama, there are some things you're always going to find. Agua, water, la soda. They love soda. Not so good, but they love soda. And the raspa. Raspa is the shaved ice where they put the sweet syrup in there. I know when I went to Colon and to Rio Abajo, sometimes they'll squeeze like condensed milk on top. But like I allowed myself to try it one time because I'm like, that amount of sugar I cannot afford in my body. But you're always gonna find those. You're always gonna find grilled sausage, chorizo. They're called chorizo, but it's really hot dogs, okay? They love that. So, and then they have some grilled meat as well. So you can be guaranteed you're gonna see those at any event, even on my Cinta Costera in Panama. But in addition, you could see hot dogs, some burgers. They're not really big on hamburgers, but hot dog they love. And then, of course, where we were, they had restaurants where you can buy chicken, fried pork, of course. They didn't have patacones, so I didn't get any patacones. I didn't eat yesterday. And I had two friends with me. They had rice and chicken, a little bit of salad. Yeah, so you weren't going to starve because the route for the parade was on a big, very popular road called Belisario Porras, who is a what's the word I'm looking for? He's a very important part of culture here. And I think he was the first president of Panama. Don't quote me, but he was a president. So I remember when I was in Las Tablas last year, there's a museum. And I watched him. I went in there and saw all the pics, the old pictures and all that. So Belisario Porras is a very important figure in Panamanian history, political culture. All right, so we were at the parade till about maybe 5-ish. And I was sitting there with my friend who is a SWRA sister who lives here in Chitre. And so we took a bus back from Chitre to Las Tablas. That was about 45 minutes and we paid $1.50 to get there. I didn't ask for a jubilado discount. I don't do that to smaller providers. So we had chairs. We carried our chairs, thank God, because I was going to carry mine from the city. I was like, I have my backpack, a bag, and the chair, that would be too much. So I left it, but thankfully she had two. So we were able to sit. And when you get to those parades, if you don't have a chair, they sell those little benches. My friend, the guy friend with us, he got one for $3. And then as he was leaving, he gave it to somebody. It's like, how are you going to carry that? So we had a ball. It was fun. And, we got up and we were doing the dancing with all the bands because the bands come, the groups come with their polleras and the band. So they're pushing like a big, speakers, right? And then the ladies, typical regional music of Panama, the accordion is very prevalent. It's nothing that you've listened to before. And then the men would sing, and then they have the ladies doing this wailing. It's typical. I absolutely love it. And then, we were all dancing, and so it was fun. And of course, the people, the locals, they see us and they say, gracias por la visita. They say, thank you for the visit. Thank you for coming. Typical Panamanian hospitality. Nothing different about that. So I've been here. I was here last year in Chitre and spent a few days. And from Chitre is more of a hub. So if you live in the Azuera area, you live in like Santa Fe, you live in Las Tablas, if you want to make big purchases, usually you come to Chitre because Chitre seems to be bigger and have more choices, okay? So Las Tablas is a quaint little town. My friend, she was able to find a house. She's in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I did not record her home. That was not polite for me to do that. But she's got a kitchen that's open to the living room, which is really unusual. And the house is quite modern. It's solid cement, and it's in a cul-de-sac, so she doesn't have traffic. It's the back of it is to like some kind of a preserve, which makes me a little critters. I don't know. She got 3-bedroom, 2-bath, very comfortable. But in the SWRA area where Chitre, Las Tablas, Los Santos, all those places are, it's warm, okay? So if you're considering Panama and you don't like the heat, don't consider Chitre or Las Tablas. They are very hot. But they do have access to the beach. I remember being in Chitre and going to a beach. It took me like a 20-minute cab drive. They don't have Uber here, so your cab. Last year when I was here, I had a cab quote me $1.50. Well, it went up to $2.50 now, so it's $2.50 to and fro. Let's see. So it's warm. Chitre is the hub. They have hospital. I think she said they don't have they have a Super 99, but they don't have El Rey, which I find very unusual. Reba Smith, she doesn't have. I think they have one in Santiago, but I don't think it's a problem for her to have access to things. The issue she has is that she teaches online and she's in the house for 6 days, so she doesn't have a lot of time to get out. One of the reasons I could not live here, I don't want to get out of my house and have to call a cab to go anywhere. I don't like that. I like to walk and catch the metro, catch the bus. And last year, I was staying at a hostel here in the Centro, El Centro, which is in the center of the town. And I said, okay, I have to get on a bus. That's part of the experience. So they don't have a card that you can scan like we do in the city. So you have to have your coins, right? So you pay the driver. And then I told the guy, I said, they have a mall. I wanted to see the mall. And they have a big water tank here in Chitre, which is a tower that's very specific to Chitre. So if you come to Chitre, you have to take a picture in front of that water tower, right? So I got on the bus and I said, I want to go check the, my Spanish is enough to say, I want to go to the mall. And then we started driving, people coming on, people getting off. And then I was the only one left in there. And he was going like off a little bit. And I'm like, are you still taking me to the mall? He's like, oh, the mall. We left it way back there. And I said, well, I asked you to drop me off at the mall. So the guy said, okay, wait for me. So he pulls on the side of the road. It was one of the little smaller white buses, not a big bus in the middle of the city. And we don't have the big buses in Chitre either. They're like, I don't know, 30, 32 seaters. So he drops me off. It's hot, so I get off. I sit on the bench. There was a bench. He crosses the street and goes to a fonda to get food. I'm sitting there now, okay? He didn't ask me if I wanted anything. So he sat down, was talking to the lady, was eating. So the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, okay, how do I get back to town? What happens if this guy decides to take me somewhere else? Which is something that atypical of Panama. But I'm doing my thoughts are going. And I think about 30 minutes he comes around and he's like, we started talking. I'm like, well, why didn't you stop? He said, well, I didn't understand, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, where are you from? Tell him where I'm from. It's like, have you been to the city? He said, oh, yeah, I went to the city and I had to run back home. I can't stand to be in the city. I'm like, oh, okay. And then he said, well, okay, I'll take you back. So he did take me back. So we drove around. So that gave me an opportunity to really see parts of Chitre I would not see if I was just staying in the Centro, right? So he dropped me back. He took me, and then when we get to the mall, he's like, you, off, the mall. So I did get to the mall that way. But I did not see anything special about Chitre when I was here last year. And this weekend is not about exploring anymore. I just want you guys to see, I wanted you to see what a typical Panamanian breakfast looks like. So I may not be able to because, hola, because this is not a, ¿hay un menú, por favor? ¿Hay un menú o no? Por favor. The young man just came out. So they see me, they know it's like, oh, crazy YouTuber. But anyway, I could not find a typical fonda to show you what the locals eat. And I had the same issue last year when I was here. Gracias. I had the same issue last year when I was here. I could not find a good place to eat. I went to this one place that was next to my hostel and the food was terrible. All fried. There was nothing else in there. But this one, I finally got, I had to come, Cafe Macchiato. And that's one of the very few ones that is open on Sunday. Because again, just like the cab driver told me last year, he says, Chitre, muy calmito, very calm. He said there is nothing going on after 6 or 7 o'clock. He said people are in their home, people are in bed, they just, nobody's in the streets. And I was like, it's okay, I can dig that. But I just could not dig not being able to get around except for a taxi and not much to see and enjoy. So that's not for me. We met, my friend moved here because she doesn't like the city and she teaches online, so she needs a place quiet. And you know, we don't do quiet in Panama City. That would be an oxymoron. If you want just peace and quiet, don't move to the city. Okay, I'm telling you. Even though there are small pockets where people say, oh, it's not so busy or so noisy. So she lives here. And she seems to like it, you know. She moved from, she was in Las Tablas and she said, oh, it wasn't working. Oh, she said the home in Las Tablas had a tin roof. So when it rained, she'd be on the phone with her student and they couldn't hear each other. She said, oh, I have to get out of here. So she got, and she found this house. This is very nice. She's got a couple of cats, so she's happy. But the guy friend who is her friend, because even though she's a SWRA sister, I was worried about feeling isolated. So she hooked up with 2 or 3 people here. And one of the gentlemen, they have a WhatsApp group, and he heard she was going to the parade, so he joined us. And it was fun. We chatted. But he's been here for 5 months, and he's like, I need more. So he's getting out of here. So me, I look around and I'm like, oh, it's beautiful, sis. Not for me. Not para me. So in terms of the food, I could not find a fonda. So, but I'm going to be doing a series on food for you guys. So I can't show you. So I'm going to see what the bistro menu looks like. And then I'm going to have to get something. Not coffee. Oh my God. I had coffee the other day and I could not sleep a wink. So I'm staying away from coffee and sticking to tea, okay? The tea, even if it's green tea, doesn't seem to affect me as much. All right, let me put my glasses on. Well, now I hope that the YouTube police doesn't get me. This is not my music. This is somebody else. Great, and you, Jewel, doing good in Atlanta, holding from the, yeah, I heard about your snow, girl. One of our sisters went back and she's like, she had 2 or 3 inches on the ground. Last time I heard you guys had the snow, everything shuts down. To ice, ooh, 23. Man, that's cold. That is cold. Well, you wonderful. I might fight. Need to look that up. Sounds beautiful. Which one are you talking about? You talking about Chitre or something else? Yep, I am in these YouTube streets. I am in. Okay, let's see what they have. Again, this is Macchiato Cafe. I'm gonna see, because I saw a picture of something that they had that looked Panamanian. Okay, they have huevo napolitano. Oh, desayuno interiorano. So I'm gonna get that. It's like a breakfast from the interior. So I'm gonna get that so you guys can see what the locals eat here. And of course, with places like this, you can get anything, you know, that you want. But I think that's what I'm gonna have so that you can see. Donde está ese niño? The young man. Okay. Hola.
Hola.
Quiero ordenar el desayuno interiorano.
Interiorano con hojaldre o tortilla.
Hojaldre.
Hojaldre.
Ah,
Y
sí.
¿Huevo medio o bien cocido?
Bien cocido.
Bien cocido.
Por favor. ¿Y tiene té? ¿Un
Ajá.
tipo de té?
Sí.
Caliente.
Caliente. De cranberry, fresa kiwi, hierbabuena y...
Hierbabuena.
Hierbabuena.
Sí.
Ok.
Ok.
Listo.
Por favor, un poco de agua también.
Ok. Cuando necesites algo, presionas aquí
Ah.
y yo vengo de una vez.
Ok. Gracias. He's so sweet. He said, when you need something, just hit that button and I'll come. Ah. Chitre is a lot cheaper. You know, like I told you guys, when you move to Panama, your biggest expense is going to be your rent, right? So the rent here, $500 to $600, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. So if you are looking to save money, consider Chitre, Las Tablas, Los Santos. I don't know. Somebody had told me before to stay away from that, but you know, you should be. Yeah, Chitre definitely is cheaper. Now, not necessarily food. Okay. I still need to keep my glasses on because I can't read your comments. Ooh. Okay. Yes. So I haven't been to the store to buy food, but I remember this little bakery. Oh, I used to just walk past and the whiff and the smell would just draw me in. Internet, no problem. She's got Tigo. I've had no issues. You know, I have internet when I travel, but I don't have a VPN. But I had no trouble inside. When I use her password, I had no trouble. Wi-Fi is good because she teaches online, so she needs stable Wi-Fi, and she's had no issues. No issues. But if you like quiet, quaint, just a little too quaint for me. And in terms of activities, I don't think there's much. I went to the cathedral last year and I loved it. Beautiful church. I don't know, I was posting something. It was around Easter, and then the priest was going around sprinkling people, and I was like, sprinkle me some more. I got sprinkled twice. Yes, no, services are good. It's just chill, very chilled. So in Panama, eggs, I see you can have eggs for breakfast sometimes. Not everybody eats eggs for breakfast, okay? Gracias. They're more into empanadas, okay? And, and, well, so far, service looks excellent here at Macchiato. And if they do a good job, I will post a review for them. But I would have loved to be like in a real fonda. But I'm happy that I found this little spot outside, because inside it's you know, the music is playing and I couldn't hear myself speak. There is an American vet that Jackie interviewed that said he got 3-bed, 2-bath for $350. Well, there's a gentleman here that tell me he is the dedicated expat or whatever. He's probably the one that Jackie interviewed. He's been here for years. He's in his 80s. But you know, what might be okay for an 80-year-old may not be okay for me. You know what I mean? In terms of house amenities. You know what I mean? So, you know, I feel I'm in Chitre. Hola. I'm in Chitre in the center of Panama. I drove 5 to 6 hours to get here. Well, I didn't drive. Somebody drove me. I took the long-range bus. And I'm getting ready to go to Costa Rica through Bocas del Toro on a bus. Don't take you along. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be in Costa Rica for like 4 or 5 days. And then, you know, when you say, I'm old, we'll travel. Yes, yes, I am looking forward to the beach and the nature preserve, seeing the monkeys and everything else. Yeah. Costa Rica is just a hop on the side of the border here. So if I don't go while I'm here in Panama, I'll never go. So yes. And then I'm going to be stateside in February, working on some business. So ask me your question. Ecuador. No, I don't have anything planned for Ecuador yet. I think after Costa Rica, probably going to be Colombia. People keep bugging me about going to Medellin. I hadn't been there yet. Ecuador eventually. I know all the issues they're having with the water and the energy. I think I'm just going to stay away for a little bit. Mexico. I definitely want to go to Mexico. And I want to go to, like I told you, I want to go back to Africa this year. I don't travel during the summer months. Like from June to like September, I don't like to fly because I don't like to get caught in the summer madness. So I like to travel around this time. From January to like May, that's my travel time. And I want to go back to Africa. I want to go to Kenya this year. Kenya, Uganda, and then someone said, don't forget Tanzania, Namibia, South Africa, I don't know because I've been there, but I didn't go to Cape Town or what's the big one? That everybody goes to. But anyway, so Namibia and then Botswana. I mean, even if it's 1 or 2 days, I'd like to go there. But you know what? Traveling throughout Africa is expensive. You would think it's a big continent, and if you're a sister or brother, that would make it a bit easy for you to travel. Many times you have to get visas, and then they have visa fees when you get there, and it's not like you have a good railway system that is safe, that you can go from one country to another. It's not like Europe when you have the train system. So you got to fly, and it gets pricey. So we'll see. Take me with you, please. Seasoned single ladies, any tips on solo traveling as a lady? My fiance is leaving the country for half a year, and I'd like to be brave and do something alone for once. You have not traveled by yourself at all? I tell people, like my sister doesn't travel a lot because she's a little bit phobic about certain things. So I would always suggest you start traveling by yourself regionally. You know, take some short trips, maybe start with buses and then fly from one city to another just to get acclimated with, you know, taking off, landing, and then all the procedures to the airport. Because to take a big trip overseas as your first trip could be a little traumatic. So just ease your way into it, right? And then it's not going to be so, you know, scary. Cape Verde. Oh, yay. I would love to go to Cape Verde. Yes. But I think that area of East Africa is really prone to some storms. So be careful you choose the times, you know, like if you are going to, not so much Seychelles, I get, but, oh, what's this little town, this little place that gets, I think it's Cape Verde, that gets a lot of the hurricanes and stuff. So just be careful. But it's gorgeous. You know, I didn't meet. I discovered one of their singers. Somebody told me her name the other day. She looks kind of Brazilian because, you know, they do have the Brazilian skin tone and they speak Portuguese. And, oh, what is her name? And she sang the nicest songs, and I just got hooked on her since. Not by myself. I'm only 23, and I've definitely traveled a lot. Good for you. Being alone is the scary part. You know, if you're 23, I would say join internations wherever you're going, And then if you do that, then you have a group of young people that once you land, you could say, you could go online, check their events, and then go and start networking that way. So you're not by yourself. Yeah, traveling alone when you're 23, it's a special group. And of course, we are retirees, so we're in a different group also. But I think if you just reach out to the Facebook groups before you land, wherever you're going, tell them you're coming. They'll give you advice. People are very open about telling you what's happening and the lay of the land, but you have to ask. Portugal. I think I will eventually learn to. I don't know why it hasn't been talking to me, but you know, a lot of people say a lot of good things about it. I like the idea of the hills because I'm a walker. Ecuador. Well, there's a great group in Ecuador that is there to welcome you. They have events, so you want to hook up with groups in Ecuador. So you don't ever go anywhere by yourself. When I was coming here, my attorney is from Chitre, so I asked questions about Chitre. And I know people in Boquete, you know. And in going to Costa Rica, there's a guy who does tours. I reached out and asked some questions. And I also have a friend who's been to Costa Rica in Panama City, who I think he has citizenship there. I asked questions and he told me the route, how to get there and everything. So network. Don't be by yourself anywhere you're going. Have somebody, a contact, somebody you get their WhatsApp so you can just shoot an email or a message, especially if you get into a situation, okay? It's very important to stay connected when you travel alone. And then when I traveled to Europe with my daughter, I did have contact. In South Africa, of course, I was with the Peace Corps. It's very important that you stay connected, okay? Beautiful. Well, thank you so much. Well, I'm old enough. Hola, Shari. I'm old enough, right? 66. Any other questions? This is your time. Cool. Oh, you know, Panama. Panama is still beautiful. It's still home for now. But I always tell people, don't ever, thank you, don't ever close your mind to anything, right? Always remain open, observant, and shift if you need to shift, because that's important as you remain safe. There is a lot of buzz about Ecuador, and as you know, Mexico is very attractive to a lot of people. Thailand, Bali, but to me, it's just way too far. I don't know that I want to cross 2-3 oceans to retire somewhere. I don't know. It is very tropical, but I feel like it is so far from us. You know what I mean? I even though the continent of Africa is very far too, it's not close, but then you have some more positive there. So solo travel, you could try going to a place you have been before with others. One of my first solo trips was to Edinburgh. I had been there twice before. Yeah, maybe someplace, you know, if you were a college kid. But, you know, she says she's only 23, so she's very young. But, yeah, I would also travel with some people if that's something you want to do. So, anyway, yeah, you're getting more people in. That's good. Yeah, pivoting, it's so important. You know, I don't mean to just jump from one place to another. There are some people who are never satisfied wherever they go. They want everything to be perfect, and there is no perfect place, okay? You just like I said, know what's important to you. When I came to Panama in 2019, I'm telling you, I went to see Monkey Island, which is one of the most popular tours. You book it online, somebody picks you up from your hotel, They take you to this dock. You get on a boat, put your jacket on, and then you start going through, and they're telling you about, because Panama is big on preservation, right? They tell you about the monkey and the jungle and how to protect them. And then the guides will try to, they make little funny noises to get the monkeys to come down, and then they'll feed the monkey, and so you could just see them, you take pictures and all. And then they took us to one of the indigenous reservations, and where we got there, talked to the people, saw how they lived, they interacted with us, they danced for us, and the whole time you're getting the history, right? And for me, I'm asking, what about healthcare? How do they get a doctor to come and all that good stuff? About school, the kids have to take a boat because they're like on an island, to take a boat to the mainland to go to school and back, which is something I talked about in another video, because there are some really remote places where the kids have to travel through some really treacherous areas to get to a school. So yeah, and what I was gonna say is that I was on the boat and enjoying nature, and I love nature. I don't like to hike though, because I don't want to come face to face with wild animal, but I can admire nature from afar. And it was just a feeling, a connection to Panama that has never left, that I can explain it. I just felt at peace. I felt good. It connected. It resonated with me. And somebody might say the same thing about Portugal or Ecuador. And I respect that, because I understand how that works, okay? So just make sure that not only does it tick off things on your list, but that you feel a connection to the place, that you feel good when you're there. That's important. And of course, when you visiting, all your senses should be activated to see how people are treating you. Do they smile at you? Do they look at you? When you go to a restaurant, how do the servers treat you? That's important. When you take the train, the cab, those things are important, okay? Thank you, Sarah. Jewel, SWRA. SWRA is going strong. We recently I had to create an admin team because I could not manage everything on my own. Between doing the videos and SWRA, and I've never been one to be a one-woman show. It's just not gonna work. So I had some ladies volunteer to work with me, and we had a meetings, and we did create some goals for SWRA. And then my job is to now create, and we did say a list of things we wanted to do. So now we have to kind of put them on paper as to which trips, activities we're going to do. I know we're going to the Panama Jazz Festival this coming week. It's all week, but there is one day, Sadie, apparently, I don't know who she is, I'm afraid to say, but they say she's a wonderful jazz singer. She's gonna be here, and a group of us, it's never all of us, with 43 ladies. If you have an event, you get whoever you get who's interested in your event. And outside of SWRA meetups, the ladies go places, like they go to the beach and they hang out. And SWRA also, we are creating clusters. We're trying to get the ladies, when they move, to stay closer to each other, so they themselves are doing things on their own. But I know I'm going to continue doing some educational meeting once a month, so I'll be posting those, and all those meetups are going to be on the Facebook page, Single Women Retiring Abroad, under events, okay? So once that's ready, they're going to be posted. I was doing the tea. I love the tea idea, but the ladies didn't think it was something I needed to continue doing once a month. But if I have people outside of SWRA who wants to do tea, we will have tea at the Waldorf, which I think is a cute event. But see, we have such a mixture of taste in the group. I'm more into, I don't really like, I'm not a jazz person per se. Gracias.
Aquí lo pones arribita.
Ah, no, yo lo pongo.
Sí?
Sí,
Okay.
gracias. And he brought my tea. So it looks like the service is going to be a little slow. Oh, no, I was wrong. Gracias. Ah, ¿y qué es eso? Bistec?
Picado.
Ah, okay. All right, guys. So the food got here. But anyway, so we're gonna post the event for SWRA on the Facebook page, and sometime I have guest speakers. And I think this year, not everybody wants to be recorded. So when I have a speaker, I have to ask them if they agree to be recorded, right? So some things we're gonna house on the Facebook page for public viewing, and some are gonna be in the SWRA. We have a young lady who is an IT person, so she is responsible for communication and housing all our stuff. We have a resource guide that we've been working on. Oh my God, this fly is gonna bother me. We have a resource guide so that when you come to Panama, then you can just find your hair salon, nail salon, people to take you around, driver to pick you up from the airport, drive you around, real estate agent, doctors, pharmacies, you know, things like that. And I had a meeting with a young man last week who is he's developing an app, and SWRA is going to partner with them so that when if you're a SWRA member, and I'll talk about that in a second, if you're a SWRA member, the resource guide is free for you to use. But after that, anybody who wants to use it, my herbal tea. Wonderful. Look at that. You know, herbal is called Hierba Buena. When they ask you what flavor tea you want, you say Hierba Buena. Look at that. Oh, makes my heart feel good. I love tea. And so you're going to be able to, if you come and you're not a member of SWRA and you want to have access to the resource guide, and I think there's going to be like a small fee. We're not going to manage that. That's going to be for the young man to manage, right? And if anybody goes to a provider, go get a service, and you're excited, you have such a good service, we say, let us know so we can include it into the resource guide, because we want people to have, you know, good service, right? Let me show you the food first before we talk about SWRA membership. Oh, okay. I was like, where is my tour? All right. So, hold up. Let me try my. One thing COVID has done for us, we're very good about hand hygiene. I'm so grateful for that. They were talking about a bug in China again. I was like, I don't want to hear it. No. So I got my tea, and there's a Splenda. I know, Splenda or honey or whatever. I still can't do unsweetened. So I use one Splenda in my coffee and my tea. All right. Oh, that's so good. Buenísimo. Okay, so this is the breakfast I wanted you to see. This is a bistec picado. Picado means cut in Spanish. So Panamanians always have some type of beef for breakfast, believe it or not. And it tends to be tough. For some reason, the beef here is not tender, okay? So I don't usually order that, but I wanted you to see it. Sometimes it's like this, sometimes it's not picado, it's entero. Entero means not cut straight, and they'll have it like a piece of meat just sitting there. But like I said, my experience is that the beef is usually tough. And then, hojaldre. This is God's food. Fried bread. I know. I'm not a breakfast person. I don't go to a restaurant and ask for hojaldre. My little fonda in Panama City, they make it good. I don't go there very often, but once in a while, if I go there, I'll have hojaldre. Someone said, it's hojaldra, hojaldra. I don't care. Fried bread, okay? If you come to Panama, try it. It's better with coffee, but I'm not having coffee. Coffee keeps me up. The young man's looking at me. This one is crazy. And then 1 egg, un huevo. Now this is fried. Which, you know, having owned a restaurant, they did a good job with that. They have sprinkle a little pepper on it. So you can have it scrambled. I've seen it scrambled. Okay. So. They did good. And then this looks like a piece of cheese. I don't know if that's the regular thing or not. But if you get a Panamanian breakfast, you can have the hojaldre, you can have empanada. And empanada, you can have pollo, chicken. When they say carne, that means beef. They don't do veggies. Don't ask for that. This is not a thing. Vegetables in Panama are not synonymous. They don't go together, okay? You can have a little salad. Be happy. Don't ask for a vegetable. I'm so glad nobody is here to listen to my shenanigans. But I put this cheese last week when I made the potato leek soup. It's like queso fresco, fresh cheese that they make here. I kind of like it. The texture is a little bit ricotta, blue cheese, like a mix. Oh, round 2. We know that. This is not news. We know that. I don't know what's going to happen with this Panama Canal stuff, but I'm living my life. I'm not going to let that mess up with my peace. I pray for the best, and then, all right, let's not start a conversation about this person, okay? Don't mess the aura. All right, so they have the cheese. So you can have empanada. You can have the eggs. Sometimes they make some type of an oatmeal they call avena, okay? And they make a fried corn empanada. It is just as good as this thing. It's not better, but you see the trend? Fry, and more fry. If you go to any small little fonda in a very, not remote, but like average area, you're gonna see fried chicken. You're gonna see rice and peas for breakfast. Bacon, not usually, but you can find it. I found bacon when I was having my brunch for Christmas at Reba Smith, the high end. Yeah, there is bacon. You can find it, but lots of hot dogs. Oh my God, like a whole row. I'm like, oh. So that's breakfast. Okay. No veggies. Nope. Yeah. So I can have hojaldre and tea, and I'm good. Coming in April, wonderful. Maybe I'll be back by then. I'm going to the States, and I might be there for a few weeks. So, anything else? So this is breakfast, and I don't usually eat breakfast at home. So, are you Panamanian? I'm American. Cheryl Love. What kind of question is that? You're funny. Costa Rica breakfast. I'm looking forward to that. I hear that the food be popping, and we're going on the Caribbean side, so all familiar. German hot dogs. They have them here. I'm not a hot dog person, so I don't know. But I love this. I know it's bad for me. I know. But like my daughter would say, YOLO, mom, YOLO. Hey, Cheryl, stop it. Oh, my Spanish. Gracias. Well, you know, like my friend here, you should see her ordering her Spanish. She's like, ordering a taxi. She's like, listen, listen. I'm like, yep, listening. So she ordered this. She had a script, and she had her address. She's doing good. I know you're doing good too, Cheryl. Just open your mouth and speak. Don't be worried about pronunciation. Just open your mouth. Make yourself speak. Rico. Yeah. The beef. This meal, I think the breakfast was 10, and then we're gonna add the tea. So I don't know. So it's not so cheap. How much does the meal cost? I told you that. Tipping, we usually, they say 10% you tip. A lot of us gringos, we tip 15, but the locals don't want us to do that. They say we mess it up for them because then the workers expect 15%. So 10%. Limon side is, yeah. But you know, they had like an advisory. You know, the U.S. has an advisory. They have an advisory for Panama too. Somebody told me. I'm like, oh, okay. Even though you guys know I got robbed in Panama, but that's because I was careless. I wasn't paying attention. Now you see, I carry my crossbody wherever I go. So you kind of have to cut off my boob to get to my money. There's somebody on the patio. I gotta watch myself. All right, guys. Yeah. So we're looking forward to that. They have different beaches and the nature preserves. So good. You're French? Oui, le français est bien difficile. Born here. Oh. Touché, Joe. But you know, this tit for tat stuff just gets to me. It's like, why do people act like that? I just don't get it. These grown men, you know, we have a fire. People are dying, losing their home. And the first thing they do is point the finger. Oh, he's doing a terrible job. Oh, I'm like, come on. How about I'm sorry for your loss? Are you safe? The humanity. Oh, yeah. I keep it moving, sis. I don't worry about it. Like I was with this lady. She said, what are they going to do? You can only kill me once. Once you get to be a certain age, you don't worry so much. You don't hang on to life so tightly because you know you have no control over it, right? What will happen will happen. Now, don't be careless. Be careful. Be safe in your decision where you go, how you move around the world, right? Like I've seen people saying, "Oh, I'm going to hike in what's that place? In Iraq." You want to go hike in Iraq as a blonde-haired American. Yeah, that's a smart move, right? Sí, es muy importante hablar el español. No se preocupe la pronunciación. Hable. Hable la boca y hable. Okay? And then people appreciate that you're trying. Yeah, I mean, and now they said Mel Gibson today said to the governor, wear less hair gel. I mean, in a day like what's happening in your state, this is the comment you want to make about somebody. I don't know. It reflects on you. The beach here in, no. Once I'm finished here, I'm going to hop on the bus and get home. Remember, it's a 6-hour ride. I want to get home before it gets dark. I went to the beach when I was here last year. I wasn't impressed. I saw a lot of mud, and there were some buildings around the beach where you could see in the evening families can come and have fun, but the beach itself, I wasn't impressed with it at all. Now, when you go to David in Chiriquí and you go to Playa La Barqueta, that's the beach. Beautiful, absolutely stunning. But they have advisories that they have rip currents, so they always tell you, you go in there at your own risk because it's dangerous. So I stayed around, took some pictures. Beautiful, beautiful. And they have condos around people can buy. I'm not. No, try to be more brave because the locals understand and they will help you. They might smile and laugh, but in a good way. In a good way. And same thing. If they know a few words of English, they want to practice with you. So this is a way to connect with the community. I think it's important if you're visiting a country that you try to speak and not assume that, I tell you, when I go to a restaurant and I hear them, you speak English? No. Even if I did, I would get them to know. I blow English. This is you in a Spanish country. Get your Google app or whatever and get with the program. I hate that. Hola, be well from Arizona. I'm in Chitre, in the center of Panama. I was showing the team a Panamanian breakfast before I hop on the bus to get back to the city. You just moved to Panama City. Wonderful. Patricia, where are you? Where in the city are you? You will. And I think I'm going to try to do some online classes for my ladies. And I will open it to anyone who wants to learn and practice conversational Spanish. It's going to be Zoom. So I'll let you guys know. So if you want to hop on, you can. That's part of the plan that we have for SWRA. Spanish classes. Because it does change your perception and your experience if you're able to converse. Or if you're just totally stressed out about the language all the time, then you become a recluse. You're afraid to go anywhere because you're afraid no. I know. That is true. That is so true. One caution about Panama City, I heard one of the younger ladies who moved here, I don't know if she's moved permanently, but she's looking for an apartment. And it's minty. Yeah, isn't that pretty? When you say quiero un té, té means tea in Spanish. De herba buena. Yeah, some of the words are long and I don't know why. And I'm like, we don't say tea. Why do you have a long word for that? No answer. Herba buena. It is so good. Whew, that's my second cup today. And I have like a little bit irritated throat this morning. But yeah, that queso fresco, try it if you come to Panama. I think I've seen that in the States too. But I'm not a cheese person per se, so. But I did use it when I did the soup last week. Oh, I wanted to let you guys know. I'm starting another YouTube channel, cooking just soups. Listen, I was sitting in my living room, and then something came over me, Maggie soup. My dear, dear, dear departed uncle used to call me that. He was my father figure, and he used to come, okay, Patricia, great. Yes. So it's going to be called Maggie Soup, the soup channel. So all I'm going to be cooking on that soups. And I'm thinking by default, I'm going to have to do some bread. But most of the bread I'm going to cook is going to be in a Dutch oven that you just put in the oven, and it's going to be, you know, the round loaf, so you can soup up your soup. But that's all this channel is going to be about. But I'm still going to be doing the live for you guys, whatever you want to do on the lives. But I feel like cooking for you guys. Look at my face. I'm getting fat. But you know, you have soups for weight loss too, right? That cabbage soup, if you drink it for a couple of weeks, you are gonna see pounds drop off. So Maggie soup, the soup channel, only gonna be soup on there, okay? I'll try to do a soup. I made a list of the soups I want to cook. I think I'm up to like 45. And of course, you can just do a variation of anything, right? By changing one ingredient here, trying that. Great. Just don't slap anybody, okay? It's got everything in it, right? It's funny. My friend teaches 6 days a week, and then she's like, whoa, I don't have time to go out. So I made her some lasagna last night. She was so excited. And this morning she's like, I'm so excited, I'm gonna be eating some more lasagna. So I made her a pot, and then I had another pot that she froze. That tea is so good. All right, guys, any other questions? I think I'm gonna be good and just eat one. That's too much. I'll be good. Can't have hojaldra, fried bread. Oh, sorry. Passing. Oh. No, but you know, food, when you get to be a certain age and your metabolism is like nil, you have to be sure you burn more calories than you ingest. So the key is in portions and how much of anything you eat. Okay? So I said I'm eating half of that hojaldra. I didn't have any of the beef. I had the egg, a little bit of the cheese, my tea. I'm good. All right, guys, I'm so happy that you guys, I didn't want to leave you hanging. You know me, if I say I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. So I'm so glad you guys hung with me today. So the soup channel's coming, online English courses coming. Still going to be doing your Sunday lives. You tell me what you want me to cook, but please don't ask me to cook fried stuff. I'm not eating fried food. I'm not frying food in my kitchen. So anything else you want, I don't mind. I don't mind, because what I cook for you, if nobody comes to get it, I eat it. Beef. What do you mean beef? You want me to cook beef or beer? What beer, Jew? Oh, beef. Yes. Yeah. I told you it's a little bit tough. When you buy the beef here, it's tough. Where did I? Okay, we went, the ladies and I, when we were doing the admin team, we went somewhere and they said, bistec picado. That means cut beef like that. and she had it, and I was like, usually it's tough, but when hers came, she said it was perfectly cooked. So it depends on where you go get it. But for breakfast, I don't need beef for breakfast. Lord, that's too heavy. No. This is one of my, not complaints, but my stomach is not used to that, you know. Beef for breakfast, I can do it. It's like I see fried chicken for breakfast. I couldn't do it, even if I ate chicken. Just too much, too early. Now this, all day. All right, guys. Are we good? Any other questions? Because I'm going to be paying and heading out. It's 11:30. If I leave at 12, I'll get home by 6, 7. So that's early enough. It was so nice to hang with you guys. I'm going to be heading back. I'll still take some shots on the way back. And then I'll post that video so you guys can see what Chitre looks like. It's a beautiful little city. Very quaint. But like I said, a little bit too quiet for me. Thanks, bye. Bye, Jewel. Bye, everybody. Have a great day. Remember, it's a new year. Don't let anybody steal your peace, okay? If there is something you can't control, let it go. Let it go. All right, Patricia. You're the one who said you just moved to Panama City. Let me know where you're at. Maybe we'll say hello one day. Cheryl Lovell. There is a Cheryl Love in Panama City. I thought that's who you were, but no. Be vigilant, be safe. Yes, I will be. Thank you so much. Bye, guys. Love you. Mwah.